What's up, everybody? Nathan here with round 5, playing Jeskai Geist. Not sure what happened to this little preview window, but this is like not working. I tried to turn it off, turning it off and on again. I don't really know what the heck's going on with it. I even restarted my computer, but anyway, I'm not going to worry about it. So let's just get to the game. If you want to know what the list is, check out game 1 in the playlist. It has like a deck tag and all that stuff. It's kind of late for me. It's 1, so I just kind of want to get this recording done so it's done for the weekend. And yeah, okay. So turn 1, Scotty 1-3 is going to be on the play. We have a hand of, it's kind of land heavy, 4 lands and spells, but we have Serum Visions to smooth things out. It's a little on the slow side, but it's definitely a keepable hand, so we're going to keep it. Fetch Shock, Steam Vent, Serum Visions. This could be a number of things. This could be Storm, could be Death Shadow. It's probably the most likely culprit. Could be some version of Jeskai. And we're just going to follow suit. Alright, sorry about that. I backed up just a bit because we missed the scry. Okay, so Serum Visions Geist. This hand has interaction. What it's missing is a good threat. So I'm assuming I'm going to go like Geist on top and then Serum Visions on top of that. This looks like what I did. Top. Alright, so it's most likely Death Shadow at this point. Getting Thought Seize. Took our counter magic, but doesn't know that we have the Geist of St. Trap, so that's in our favor. Draw the Geist, probably bottom the land and top the Helix. So unfortunately, our opponent decides to go Snapcaster Thoughtseize and takes our Geist. It's kind of unfortunate. But now we actually have Lethal Burn. Yeah, and I think what I decide to go ahead and do here is just, while I can, put our opponent to 3 and just, kind of make it. This could have been problematic if he went like Death Shadow and then had Stubborn Denial, but I kind of chose to just get really aggressive. And it looks like it might work out because our opponent doesn't seem to have a big massive threat. I kind of forgot to mention that turn when he went Snapcaster Thoughtseize. That was when I was playing the game. That was kind of like an indicator. I was like, well, maybe he doesn't actually have a big threat, because I think instead of Snapcaster Thoughtseize, given the opportunity, he definitely would have played like a Death Shadow or Gurmag Angler. And so as it turns out, we just bolt him, and that's not how every game against Death Shadow goes, but that's certainly how some of them can go. Alright, see you guys for game 2. Okay, so before we get started here for game 2, big thanks to Zigzags, who commented on my channel and said, I think you can view your sideboard, which, here you go. Next step, next turn, play stop. I've tried to use these before. I've never investigated them. So it looks like what we sided out in this matchup were our Electrolyzes, and we sided out all of our Cryptics, and we would have brought in, looks like 2 Surgicals, a Dispel. We brought in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards. So probably brought in the Dispel, 2 Surgical Extractions, 2 Dust Dawns, a Celestial Purge, and forgetting something. That's 8 cards. Dispel, Shell Purge, 2 Death Dawns, 2 Surgical Extractions, and I'm forgetting something. Oh, it looks like I probably brought in the... Did I bring in the Disrupting Shoal? Can't imagine I did that. I don't see it on my sideboard. That doesn't seem right. Maybe I just wasn't thinking. Alright, we'll take a look at our library when we fetch, to be sure. Let's try one of these buttons here. So I'm going to say next step. Is that what this button does? Anyway. Alright, Serum Visions. So next turn. Discards a Street Wraith. Alright, cycles, discards, top. Alright. So it looks like we're just... Oh, I forgot to look at our library. Okay, we'll do it in a moment. Alright, so we definitely want the path, we don't want the steam vents. So I'm assuming that we go top, bottom. Yeah, bottom, top, rather. Alright. So we have some interaction coming our way, which is great. Inquisition took our Logic Knot. It's interesting. He's clearly not worried about our Geist of St. Traft, which is technically one of our best cards in the matchup. Opponent's already at 12 too. 12 also. Opponent is almost dead to these 2 bolts. Takes our path, plays a Death Shadow. Okay. So we fetch, and let's see. What did we exactly ring? What am I missing? I did. Why did I bring in? I don't know why I brought in Disdainful Stroke. This does not seem like a card I want in this matchup. I think I just had a brain fart. Yeah, don't bring this in. I'm not sure. Why did I do that? What was I thinking? Oh, I guess actually, no. I guess it hits Tassigers and Gurmag Anglers. I still don't know that we want it. I think that was just me not thinking. Like, you want some counter spells. Oh, I brought in the other Ruined Halo. So I brought in Disdainful Stroke. Don't do that. I brought in this Ruined Halo because I had one main. Disdainful Stroke is not what you want in the matchup, I don't think. I mean, you already have Logic Knots, and yes, this counters their creature, their big creatures, but it doesn't counter their scariest one. And kind of like, I think you approach this matchup the same way that you would Grixis Delver back in the day, which is it's not really about counter spells, it's about removal. The only counter spells it's really about is the cheap ones, is Dispel. And the way you beat the deck is by killing their creatures, and you don't kill their creatures with counter spells. So don't bring this in. Okay. Oh, I know what I was... So I'm just like, alright, I'm just gonna... If we draw a burn spell, we win the game. If not, we play Geist. And my thinking here is he's dead to a Geist attack, and there's a chance that, like, if he can't deal enough damage to himself, like, the biggest Death Shadow can get is a 13/13, so he needs to be able to have like a burn spell or a Collective Brutality, which he already cast one, so he might not, or another land, and then Collective Brutality could do it. So I'm obviously going for like the most aggressive line possible. But if he doesn't have the burn spell, our way to deal is direct damage or life loss, then we're in good shape. And it turns out I completely regret my decision. When I made that decision, I also thought, nobody plays Team Up Battle Rage anymore. I don't have to worry about that card. Clearly, some people still do. So obviously, we're dead. We can absorb, 2 damage of 20. All right, see you guys in game 3. Okay, game 3. Obviously, we're on the play, and we have a path. We have this, which is really great. We have this to smooth out our draws. I would keep this. I'm assuming that's what I did, and use this to get a Steam Vents and Serum Visions. So let's see what I did. Yeah, it looks like that's what I did. We don't want the land. We probably want this bolt. Yep. It's kind of funny when I don't remember what I did to see if I make the same decisions. Okay, opponent does nothing. Kind of a slow start for them. Play out of land, pass turn. Goes for the Thought Scour. Mills over an Isle Spellbomb, which is kind of nice. Keeps our graveyard intact. Takes our Geist, which is sad. But we draw another one. So we play it. Things are looking great. But our opponent plays the Tasker. So we got some decisions to make. We drew a Surgical Extraction. And I'm kind of curious to see what you guys would do here. What I chose, so obviously, he knows we have a path, and he knows we have 2 bolts. And so I'm immediately thinking, all right, he played this Tasker, he knows what we have. He probably has 2 Disdainful Strokes. And his plan is, if we can't double bolt, and we basically can't path either. So he can counter our path and he can counter one of the bolts, so we can't kill it. But I drew the Surgical Extraction. So what I'm going to do, my plan is I'm going to go ahead and path the Tasker, knowing that he's going to Disdainful Stroke it. Let me see. I wonder if I could have done that better. What I know what I do. I decide to path. He casts Disdainful Stroke. I then cast Surgical Extraction on Disdainful Stroke, which he counters with the Disdainful Stroke that he did have. The second Disdainful Stroke that we knew he had in his hand, or thought he had, he counters the Surgical Extraction, and we double both this Tasker. So what he could have done is, let's see, what if I had, so if I bolt the Tasker, then he Disdainful Strokes it. Well, actually, he lets that bolt resolve. All right, so then I guess it could have gone either way. I don't even think it mattered. I was trying to figure, is there a way that I could have made all this happen and bolted his face? And I don't think so. Because if I bolted the Tasker, he lets the first one resolve. If I bolt the Tasker, the second time he Disdainful Strokes it. I Surgical Extract. I was actually better that way, because it was actually better to path first, I think. Because if I do it in the opposite order, then what happens is the path is the spell that resolves, which gives him another land. So it was better to make it the bolts which resolve. So, yeah, because if I bolt, he counters the second bolt. I get rid of it. I do the Surgical Extraction thing, and I resolve the path. So, yeah, I think this is better. So let's just watch this play out really quick. Path, Stubborn Denial. Not Disdainful Stroke, I meant Stubborn Denial. Do this. It was interesting when we actually played, he kind of had like a pause there. Takes our Spell Queller, unfortunately. Alright, so this was kind of awkward for us because A, we don't have a white source for Eiganjo Castle. B, we don't have a blue source for Logic Knot. So I'm like, well, he could very easily ambush Viper this Geist Saint draft, and I just decided to go for it anyway because it puts him to 1. It just puts him to dead to so many things. It puts him dead to a Snapcaster Mage attack, to a Bolt, to just so many things. It's a little worse for us because he's got this now Spellbomb. He decides to go ahead and crack it. What I mean it's a little worse is now, like, actually kind of interesting. I don't know what was in his hand, but if we had a Snapcaster Mage when he activated the Spellbomb, we could have probably ended the game there. So we have the Logic Knot for this Grimag Angler. We're just still like trying to find any way to kill him. It's like a race, obviously. Get rid of our graveyard. That doesn't work. So obviously end of turn here, we're going to cast Snapcaster Mage to try and kill him. Just kind of hope it doesn't have like a Fatal Push or something. Which he had a call against command, but we drew a Bolt. So close game, but I mean we drew, you know, the burn spells that we needed, and Geist was good. So that was round 5 and second 4-1 league in a row. So actually been doing pretty well. I don't really look at this very often. I only noticed it, I guess, because when I was looking at the replays. But at one point in time, I don't remember exactly, a week ago or something like that, my Magic Online rating was a little over, it was like 18 something, which for me that's good. I know I've talked to many people, not many, but I've talked to a few people who, when they're really doing well in Magic Online, they're like 1900. That was somebody playing Amulet Titan. I've never been that high, but I feel like if I'm ever, you know, cresting 1800, then I'm doing pretty good. So kind of feel like that means, I don't know what that means. I think that just means like, you know, it's like a very sort of, if I can do pretty well with the deck, then somebody who's better can certainly do a lot better. Anyway, guys, that's all for me. If you like the video, if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys soon. Good night.